Deep in the outer edges of the galaxy, Earth's long-range sensors picked up a strange energy signal. It was faint at first, like a whisper, buried beneath the background noise of the stars. Scientists at the orbital station monitored it carefully. "This is unlike anything we've seen before," Dr. Mira Solis said, adjusting the sensors. Her voice was calm, but her eyes betrayed excitement. "It's not a star, not a known planet, and not any signal from human colonies." Her assistant, Jalen Rourke, frowned. "Maybe it's just some natural anomaly. Ancient energy left behind, nothing alive." Mira shook her head. "No. This has patterns. Movement. Something is awake." The Galactic Council had long forgotten this sector of space. Centuries ago, explorers had mapped dozens of planets here, but few had any life, and most were marked as dead or barren. Yet now, on a small rocky world near a dying sun, something stirred. A small expedition team was assembled. 4 humans, chosen for their expertise in exploration and alien technology, were sent aboard the Starship Odyssey. Captain Rhea Tan, calm and decisive, led the mission. Mira was the lead scientist. Jalen handled equipment and sensors. The last member, Engineer Kiro Vance, was there to manage all technical systems. The journey was long and tension grew as the signal became stronger. No one spoke much. The hum of the ship was the only sound. Finally, the planet came into view. From orbit it looked lifeless. Jagged mountains, deep craters, and vast plains of gray dust stretched as far as the eye could see. But scattered across the surface were unusual formations, giant stone structures half buried in sand and rock. "They look artificial," Jalen whispered, eyes wide. Mira nodded. "Not just artificial, they're ancient. These ruins are older than recorded human history. Older than any galactic civilization we know of." Captain Tan gave the order. "Prepare the landing. Let's find out what's producing that signal." The descent was rough. The planet's thin, unstable atmosphere pushed the Odyssey with violent gusts of wind. Finally, the landing gear touched the cracked surface, and dust exploded into the air. Stepping out, the team stared at the ruins. Towering monoliths, carved with symbols, rose from the ground. Strange markings glowed faintly in the dim sunlight. They were unlike any language humans had ever seen. The carvings moved subtly, shifting as if alive. This is incredible," Mira whispered, running her fingers over the smooth stone. "This civilization, it must have existed long before humans. Perhaps millions of years ago." Kiro scanned the area with his portable analyzer. "Energy readings are off the charts. Whatever created this, it's still here, somewhere below." The team carefully made their way to the largest structure, a pyramid-like formation buried under centuries of dust. Its surface was carved with intricate patterns, spirals, and shapes that seemed to pulse faintly with energy. Jalen paused. "Do you feel that? It's like the air itself is moving." Suddenly, the ground trembled beneath their feet. Small rocks slid across the dusty plains. The team froze, staring at the pyramid. Myra's heart raced. "It's reacting to us. Something inside is awake." Then it happened. A low rumble echoed from deep within the structure. The carvings began to glow brighter. Cracks formed across the pyramid's surface and dust poured out like smoke. Kiro shouted over the noise. "Everyone back. The structure is opening." The team scrambled as a section of the pyramid slowly slid aside, revealing a dark chamber beyond. A faint light glimmered inside, strange and unnatural. The energy readings spiked, nearly overwhelming the ship's instruments. Captain Tan stood at the edge of the chamber, hand on her communicator. "Report," she demanded. Jalen's voice trembled. "It's huge. I can't see the end of it. And there's movement inside." Myra's eyes widened. This is not a machine. Not exactly. Something alive, or something that thinks like it's alive. A gust of wind, or was it something else? Blew across the entrance. The light inside pulsed rhythmically like a heartbeat. The team felt it in their chests, low and powerful. The chamber seemed endless. Shadows moved within. The carvings on the walls shifted, creating patterns that made the team feel dizzy, as if the structure itself were watching them. Captain Tan tightened her grip on her equipment. "Stay calm. We are here to observe. Do not." Before she could finish, the ground shook violently. Dust and debris tumbled from the walls. The light inside the chamber flared to blinding brilliance. And then, silence. The team stared at the opening. Something had emerged from centuries of sleep. Something that had been forgotten by the galaxy, and now it was awake. Mira swallowed hard. "We were not supposed to find this. It wasn't ready, but now we are here." The wind carried a whisper, faint and chilling. Words no human had ever heard, yet somehow they resonated in their minds. You have awakened me. And now, the galaxy will remember. The team exchanged terrified glances. Captain Tan stepped forward. We need to document this, carefully. One wrong step and... The ground quaked again, this time violently. The hidden chamber yawned wider. From the shadows, a glowing figure began to emerge, stretching upward toward the sky. Its presence was immense and energy radiated outward, affecting the planet itself. The expedition team stood frozen. This was no relic. This was alive. And humanity had just awakened it. The adventure, and the danger, had only begun. The ground still trembled as the hidden chamber yawned wider. Dust and debris floated in the strange, pulsing light. The team stood frozen, unsure whether to step forward or run. Mira Solis swallowed hard. We need to approach carefully. This entity, it's not just a machine. It's intelligent. And awake. Captain Ria Tan nodded. Kiro, keep the scanners running. Jalen, stay with me. Mira, you lead the way, but no sudden moves. The first steps into the chamber were like walking into another world. The walls were covered in glowing glyphs, patterns that shifted as if alive. Every step the humans took echoed unnaturally, as though the chamber itself were listening. Jalen whispered, it feels like it's breathing. Myra's sensors went wild. Energy levels are off the charts. I've never seen anything like this. It's not just alive, it's aware of us. It's sensing our thoughts. From the shadows, a faint hum began. It was low at first, then grew into a deep resonance that vibrated through the floor. The light from the glyphs pulsed in rhythm with it. Suddenly, the glowing figure from the pyramid began to move. At first it was just a shimmer like heat waves on a hot day. Then a shape started to take form, tall, humanoid but impossible in its proportions. Energy coursed along its skin, flowing like liquid light. Captain Tan gripped her weapon, though she knew it might be useless. Stay calm, she said, though her voice shook slightly. We are explorers. We do not provoke. The entity paused. It tilted its head, or what appeared to be a head, toward the humans. Its light pulsed faster, and for the first time a sound emerged, not from the ears but directly into their minds. Who awakens me? Mira felt it in her chest, the words vibrating through her body. It's communicating. Telepathically. Jalen's eyes widened. Telepathy? This is unreal. The entity's glow intensified. The chamber walls shivered, glyphs flashing faster. The humans took careful steps back, sensing immense power. Kiro's hands flew over his scanner. It's measuring us, testing us. But why? What does it want? The entity moved closer, and the energy in the room grew heavier. The air crackled, and sparks of light jumped across the chamber. Objects began to float slightly above the ground, pulled by unseen forces. Mira stepped forward cautiously. We mean no harm. We are explorers seeking knowledge, not conflict. The entity paused, then a series of images flashed in the minds of the team, visions of civilizations long gone, stars collapsing, planets destroyed, and then peaceful worlds thriving. Jalen gasped. It's showing us history, ancient history. The entity's voice resonated again, clearer this time. You are young, fragile, yet curious. You awaken what was meant to sleep. Why? Captain Tan swallowed. We did not seek to awaken you. The signal led us here. We want to understand and learn from you. For a long moment, nothing happened. The humans could feel their hearts pounding, the weight of a being millions of years older than humanity pressing down on them. Then slowly the entity lowered its glowing arms, and energy seemed to settle. Mira let out a small breath. It's listening. Trying to understand us. Suddenly the chamber shook violently again. This time it wasn't the entity, it was the planet. Cracks spread across the stone floor. Dust poured from the ceiling. The humans realized the energy of the entity was destabilizing the planet's crust. Kiro shouted, we need to retreat. This place isn't stable. But Captain Tan shook her head. We can't just leave. We need to communicate. If we run now, we risk angering it. The entity pulsed brightly, and a booming thought filled the humans' minds. Power, awoken. Purpose, unknown. Choices, must be made. Mira realized the meaning immediately. It's deciding whether we are friend or threat. It's testing humanity. Jalen looked around nervously. Test? How do you survive a test like that? Before anyone could respond, the chamber walls began to shift. Sections moved, opening pathways deeper underground. The light inside the entity grew blinding, and the hum became a roar. A faint whisper echoed in their minds, "Prepare, or perish." The team realized they had no choice. The entity was not just awake, it was aware, powerful, and unpredictable. Whatever lay deeper in this chamber, it would determine the fate of the humans standing before it. Captain Tan took a deep breath. "We proceed carefully. Together. No sudden moves. Keep your minds clear. We learn or we die." With that, they stepped forward into the unknown, deeper into the pyramid, where the entity's true form and purpose awaited. Every heartbeat was a countdown to the next revelation, and the first real danger of awakening something that had slept for centuries. The shadows shifted, the light pulsed faster, and the humans understood. The adventure, and the peril, was only beginning. The deeper the expedition team moved into the pyramid, the stranger the surroundings became. The walls were no longer solid stone, they seemed alive, shifting subtly as though breathing. Light from the entity pulsed through every surface, casting long shadows that danced unnaturally. Captain Ria Tan kept her hand close to her weapon, though she knew it could not harm what lay ahead. "Stay alert," she whispered. "We don't know what's waiting for us." Mira Solis adjusted her sensors, reading spikes of energy that made her fingers tingle. "This entity, it's not just awake. It's intelligent. It knows we're here and it's testing us." Jalen Rourke swallowed hard. "How do you test someone without speaking? Without moving?" "It's reading us." Ahead, the corridor opened into a massive chamber. The ceiling was impossibly high, vanishing into shadows. In the center, the glowing entity floated, fully awake now. Its humanoid form was enormous, its limbs long and flowing with pure energy. It radiated power, yet there was a strange elegance to it, as if the being itself had been sculpted by millennia of evolution. The entity tilted its head, or what humans could recognize as a head, and a voice not spoken but felt directly in their minds resonated. "You are the Awakeners. Why have you come?" Mira took a cautious step forward. We came because we detected your energy. We meant no harm. We are explorers seeking knowledge and understanding." The entity's glow dimmed slightly, like it was considering her words. Then it pulsed rapidly, sending a wave of energy through the chamber. Objects lifted from the floor, spinning slowly in the air. The humans held their ground, sensing both danger and curiosity. "Knowledge, is it your goal? Or survival?" the entity asked. Captain Tan spoke carefully. "Both. We wish to understand. And we wish to survive. We are humans, we learn through observation, curiosity, and courage." The entity's energy flared brighter, enveloping the team in warmth and light. Images flooded their minds, visions of civilizations long gone, planets destroyed by wars they could not comprehend, and worlds that had thrived under careful guardianship. Jalen gasped. "It's showing us history. Ancient history before humans existed." Mira nodded. "It's teaching us, or testing how we respond to knowledge. This is beyond anything humanity has encountered." The entity's thoughts pressed upon them like a heavy wind, curious, fragile, young, yet capable. "You awaken what slept for eons. But are you worthy of understanding? Or will you destroy yourselves?" The humans felt a chill, the weight of the entity's judgment pressing on their minds. Kiro Vance's hands shook as he held his scanner. "It's analyzing us. Every thought, every emotion. It knows our fears, our hopes, everything." Suddenly the chamber quaked. Energy arcs shot across the walls and dust rained down. The humans realized the entity's power was destabilizing the pyramid. It was testing them, seeing if they could remain calm, disciplined, and rational under pressure. Captain Tan gritted her teeth. "Hold steady. Focus on understanding, not fear. We survive by thinking, by staying united." The entity floated closer, its light intensifying. The humans felt as if their very minds were being scanned, their memories laid bare. Then, unexpectedly, the entity paused. The room fell silent except for a low hum of energy like a heartbeat. Mira exhaled slowly. "It's waiting, watching, deciding what we are." Then in their minds a clear message arrived. One step further and you risk everything. One step back and you retreat into ignorance. Choose. The team exchanged glances. Each of them understood the stakes. This was not just exploration. This was a first contact with a being older than recorded history, something so powerful that a single wrong move could mean their end. Captain Tan took a deep breath. "We step forward. Together. We show courage, intelligence, and respect. That is the only way we survive this." Mira nodded, adjusting her scanner to record every detail. "We communicate. Not with weapons but with our minds, our intentions, our courage. The entity's glow shifted again as if acknowledging their choice. Slowly, it extended what could be called an arm, or a tendril of energy, toward them. The air vibrated with raw power. Jalen whispered, "It's reaching out." Mira felt a pulse in her chest, not painful but overwhelming. The entity's presence was immense, yet strangely welcoming. She realized that it was testing humanity not through force, but through understanding. It wanted to see if they were worthy of knowledge, worthy of survival, worthy of contact with something that had slept for millennia. Captain Tan stepped forward slightly, her voice firm. "We are ready. We come in peace. We wish to learn. Guide us and we will listen." The entity's light flared, enveloping the team completely. In that moment, the humans felt a connection, an exchange of thoughts, emotions, and understanding that went beyond words. They glimpsed civilizations long dead, technology that could reshape worlds, and the deep loneliness of something that had waited centuries for awakeners. Then the light dimmed slightly and the entity spoke, again in thought, but now almost like words to be understood. "You are the first in eons to awaken me and survive. But your journey is only beginning. What comes next will test your minds, your hearts, and your courage. Are you ready?" The humans exchanged determined looks. There was fear, yes, but also excitement. They had made the first contact. They had survived the initial test. Captain Tan nodded. "We are ready." The entity's glow pulsed once, then a hidden path in the chamber floor opened, a passage leading deeper into the pyramid. Light and energy flowed from within, calling the humans forward. Mira whispered, "Whatever lies ahead, it will change humanity forever." And with that, the expedition team stepped into the unknown, unaware of the dangers and wonders that awaited in the ancient chamber, where something long forgotten had truly awakened. The hidden passage beneath the chamber stretched farther than the humans could see. Light from the entity flowed along the walls, illuminating carvings and strange symbols that seemed to move as the team walked past. Every step made the floor vibrate slightly, like the planet itself was alive and aware of their presence. Captain Ria Tan kept her hand close to her weapon, though she knew it could not harm the ancient entity. "Stay alert. Keep scanning. Something tells me this is only the beginning." Mira Solis adjusted her sensors, trying to measure the energy levels. The entity's power is immense. The further we go, the more unstable the planet becomes. We could be walking into a trap, or a natural reaction to its awakening. Jalen Rourke swallowed hard. Or both. The passage opened into a massive underground hall, easily the size of a city block. Energy from the entity flowed across the walls like rivers of light. In the center of the hall, a massive structure rose, a crystalline spire taller than any human building, radiating raw power. The entity hovered beside it, its glowing form stretching across the chamber like a living storm. Mira stepped forward cautiously. This structure isn't just a chamber. It's a conduit, a focus for its energy. And it's growing stronger by the second. Suddenly the walls shivered violently. Rocks fell from above and the floor cracked under the force. Energy arcs shot across the chamber, some striking the humans' equipment. Kiro Vance ducked. "This isn't a test anymore. The planet is reacting to it, or it's reacting to us." Captain Tan signaled everyone to stay calm. "Back away slowly. Don't panic. Remember, our survival depends on discipline, not fear." The entity's light flared and a voice or thought filled their minds louder than before. "Curious mortals, do you understand the forces you awaken? This power, it can destroy worlds, and you stand in its path." Myra's heart raced. "It's warning us, or threatening us. I can't tell which." The spire in the center began to pulse faster, sending shockwaves through the planet's crust. Dust and debris flew into the air. The ground shook violently. The humans realized that if the entity unleashed its full power, the planet itself could fracture, or even explode. Jalen looked at Captain Tan. "We need to leave. Now." Tan shook her head. "No, we can't just run. If we do, it might perceive us as a threat. We need to show it we can reason, that we are not enemies." The entity's thoughts pushed into their minds again. Reason? Courage? Survival? Your species is weak. Yet it persists. Why? Mira swallowed and spoke carefully, her voice steady. "We survive because we learn. We survive because we adapt. We survive because we care for our people and our worlds. That is our strength." For a moment, the chamber fell silent, the energy pulsing slowing slightly. Then, without warning, the spire released a massive surge of energy. The humans were thrown off their feet. Equipment sparked. Dust filled the air. The entity's light flashed violently, and the walls shook as though the planet itself was screaming. Kiro shouted, "It's testing us. It wants to see how we react under danger." Captain Tan helped Mira to her feet. "It's a threat, yes, but it's not trying to kill us, yet. Stay calm. Show control. That's how we survive." The entity's presence pressed down on them, heavy and omnipresent. It was not just a being, it was a force of nature older than humanity, capable of destroying entire civilizations. Yet in that same presence there was intelligence, curiosity, and something almost human. Jalen clenched his fists. "It's incredible. And terrifying. I've never felt anything like this." Suddenly, the spire emitted a sound like a roar vibrating through their minds. The entity projected visions. Cities crumbling, oceans boiling, planets breaking apart. But then, images of humans overcoming impossible odds flashed. A lone ship saving a colony, humans surviving disasters, humans exploring dangerous worlds. Mira gasped. "It's judging us. It's testing if we are worthy of understanding. If we can survive its power and think logically under pressure." Captain Tan's voice was firm. "We face the challenge, we prove our worth. That's all we can do." The energy arcs subsided slightly, and the chamber quieted. The entity's glow became calm, almost contemplative. Then, in a whisper in their minds, it said, "Courage and intellect. These are traits rare among mortals. You endure. But the true test is ahead. Fail, and you perish." Mira looked at the team. "It's not done with us. This is only the first real trial. Whatever comes next, we need to be ready." The humans exchanged determined looks. Fear lingered, but courage burned brighter. They had faced the first threat of the awakened entity, and survived. Yet they knew deep down that the real challenge had only begun. As they stepped forward cautiously, the spire pulsed again, sending tendrils of energy curling toward them, beckoning them deeper into the underground labyrinth. Captain Tan whispered, "Hold tight. Stay focused. Humanity doesn't run from challenges, we face them." And with that, the expedition team pressed onward into the unknown depths, toward trials that would test their minds, their courage, and their very survival. The entity's awakening was no longer just a mystery, it was a threat. And the humans were at the center of it. The underground labyrinth stretched farther than the team could see. The glowing spire pulsed like a heartbeat, casting shifting shadows that seemed to move with a will of their own. The air was heavy with energy, humming in resonance with the entity that had awakened centuries ago. Captain Ria Tan led the team cautiously. "Stay together. Keep your minds clear. Remember, we are explorers, not warriors." Mira Solis adjusted her sensors, trying to measure the entity's fluctuating energy. "It's reading us continuously. Every thought, every movement, it knows what we are thinking. If we panic, we could trigger a reaction." Jalen Rourke's hands trembled as he checked his equipment. "So how do we even respond to something that knows our minds before we do?" Mira took a deep breath. "We respond with intent, with clarity, with courage. That's what makes us human." As they approached a larger chamber, the entity's presence intensified. Its glow became brighter, and the walls themselves seemed to vibrate with anticipation. Energy tendrils reached out from the spire, curling and twisting like living serpents. Suddenly, the entity projected a thought directly into their minds: "Your species is fragile, yet capable. Show me why you deserve understanding." Captain Tan stepped forward, voice steady. "We are ready. We face challenges with courage and we adapt with intelligence. We value life and we seek knowledge. That is humanity." The entity pulsed, and a series of holographic projections appeared around them. They were trials, mental, physical, and emotional. In one projection, the humans saw a planet being destroyed by a catastrophic storm. In another, they were trapped in a maze of shifting energy, forced to find their way out before time ran out. Each trial tested their problem-solving, their teamwork, and their endurance. Jalen gasped. "It's forcing us to act, to prove ourselves? These aren't illusions, they're tests of our minds and our courage." Mira nodded. "And we're learning from each one. This is how it judges us. Not by strength, but by intellect, bravery, and moral choice." The entity's presence loomed larger. Its energy radiated across the chamber, pressing on them yet guiding them. It was not trying to harm them, but to challenge them, to see if humanity could rise to meet its standards. Kiro Vance's voice broke the tension. "We have to trust each other. One wrong move and it might see us as unworthy. We survive together." Captain Tan took a deep breath. "Then let's prove it. Step by step, together." The first trial began. The chamber transformed into a labyrinth of light and shadow. Energy walls shifted and closed off paths, forcing the humans to think quickly. They communicated silently, pointing, signaling, and moving with precision. Jalen led them through the shifting corridors, relying on intuition and Myra's calculations. As they advanced, the entity projected new challenges. Moral dilemmas, quick decisions that could affect lives in the projections, and logical puzzles that required combining knowledge and reasoning. Each success caused the entity's glow to stabilize, a silent acknowledgement of their progress. Each failure caused vibrations and energy surges, reminding them of the stakes. Hours, or perhaps minutes, time felt distorted, passed. The humans persevered, growing more confident. They learned to anticipate the entity's tests, to respond calmly under pressure, and to trust one another implicitly. Finally, they reached the center of the chamber. The spire of energy loomed above them, pulsing slowly now, less chaotic than before. The entity's presence surrounded them completely, immense yet no longer threatening. A thought reached them, clear and commanding: "You endure. You adapt. You are capable. Your species is worthy of knowledge. Yet the journey ahead is far greater." Myra's eyes widened. "It's acknowledging us. It trusts us. In some way we've passed its first real test." Captain Tan exhaled slowly. "We've survived, but we can't forget. It's only the beginning. There's more ahead, and it will be even harder." Jalen looked at the glowing entity with awe. "It's teaching us, but also warning us. This power isn't ours yet. We need to prove ourselves every step of the way." Kiro nodded. "We've shown courage, intelligence, and unity. That's humanity. That's why it's letting us continue." The entity pulsed one last time, then a massive passageway opened before them, descending deeper into the heart of the planet. Light flowed from the opening like a river of pure energy, calling them forward. Captain Tan turned to her team. "We go together. We keep learning. We survive. Humanity doesn't back down from challenges, no matter how impossible they seem." Mira adjusted her sensors one final time. "Whatever is waiting down there, it's going to change us. And it's going to change everything we know about the galaxy." With determination in their hearts, the humans stepped forward into the unknown. The entity's glowing presence enveloped them, a silent guide and judge. Every pulse of energy reminded them of the stakes: survival, understanding, and the proof of humanity's worth in the face of a force that had slept for centuries. As the chamber walls shimmered and the spire's energy flowed around them, one truth was clear: the humans had responded, and in doing so, they had earned a place in the history of the awakened entity. But the challenges ahead would test them further, testing their minds, their courage, and their very humanity. The adventure, and the awakening, was far from over. The team descended deeper into the glowing passage, their footsteps echoing in the vast underground corridors. Every pulse of light from the spire above reminded them of the entity's presence, immense and ever watchful. The air shimmered with energy, and the walls themselves seemed alive, responding to their movements. Captain Ria Tan led the way, her voice steady despite the tension. "Stay focused. Keep your minds clear. Whatever awaits us, we face it together." Mira Solis adjusted her sensors, reading the highest energy levels yet. "It's fully awake now. Its power is increasing exponentially. We are entering its core, the heart of its intelligence." Jalen Rourke swallowed nervously. "I feel it, its presence. It's like a storm inside my mind, powerful, vast, and aware of every thought." The passage opened into a colossal chamber, unlike anything humans had ever seen. The walls were made of living crystal, reflecting the entity's radiant energy in countless colors. At the center floated the entity itself, no longer just a figure of light, but a towering intelligence radiating unimaginable power. Its energy extended in all directions, connecting with the planet, the chamber, and even the humans. The entity's voice, or rather, its thought, filled the minds of the humans not as words but as feelings, images, and knowledge. "You have endured, proven your courage, intelligence, and unity. You have passed the trials of the awakened. Now you shall understand, and be understood." Mira gasped. It's communicating fully. Not just testing us, it's sharing knowledge. This is beyond anything we imagined." The entity projected visions into their minds: civilizations long forgotten, advanced technology, and the history of countless worlds. Humans saw wars fought by species long extinct, discoveries that reshaped galaxies, and the rise and fall of empires. And among these images, they saw glimpses of themselves, the potential of humanity, courage, and ingenuity that rivaled even ancient civilizations. Captain Tan stepped forward, heart pounding. We've shown that humans can endure, adapt, and unite. But what is its purpose? Why awaken now? The entity's energy pulsed around them, flowing into the chamber like a river of light. I was designed as a guardian, a keeper of knowledge, a protector of civilizations. I slept while the galaxy changed. Few species were ready for my presence. You are ready. You have awakened me, and in doing so, you have proven humanity's worth. Jalen's eyes widened. It trusts us, fully? After all this time? Mira nodded slowly. Yes. We've shown we are capable of reasoning, courage, and unity. That's why it shares this knowledge and its trust with us. Suddenly, the entity's glow intensified, bathing the chamber in blinding light. The humans felt a connection not just of minds, but of understanding. They knew that this being had waited centuries for intelligent life that could comprehend and respect its power. Hero Vance whispered, "It's sharing everything. I feel its history, its memories, its purpose. And it's giving us guidance, showing us possibilities we never dreamed of." The entity's presence seemed to expand beyond the chamber, connecting with distant stars and ancient ruins scattered across the galaxy. You are the first to awaken me and survive. You are not only explorers, you are witnesses, custodians, and students. The galaxy has forgotten what I guard, but you shall remember. Captain Tan exhaled slowly, awe in her eyes. We've learned, survived, and proven ourselves. Humanity has changed because of this. And perhaps, the galaxy will too. The entity pulsed once more, its energy flowing into the humans, not as force but as knowledge and understanding. They felt it in their minds, their hearts, their very souls. They had been chosen, in a way, to carry forward the legacy of ancient civilizations and to awaken humanity to possibilities beyond imagination. Mira stepped forward, overwhelmed by the experience. It's teaching us how to think, how to prepare, how to protect. This isn't just power, it's responsibility. The entity's glow began to recede slightly, settling into a calm, steady light. Its presence was still immense but no longer overwhelming. Remember what you have learned. Spread knowledge. Protect life. Humanity is now part of the awakening. Your species has the potential to shape the stars. Captain Tan looked at her team. We've survived the awakening. We've faced the challenges. And we've learned that humanity's courage, intelligence, and unity can meet even the oldest forces in the galaxy. Jalen smiled faintly. We're alive, and we're changed. Forever. Mira nodded. And the galaxy will never be the same. Not because of fear but because of hope, knowledge, and the potential we carry forward. The humans slowly began to retreat from the chamber, the entity's energy guiding them safely through the labyrinth. Each step was measured, aware, and confident. They were no longer just explorers, they were witnesses to something ancient, alive, and infinitely powerful. As they emerged back to the surface of the planet, the sunlight felt different, warmer, and full of possibilities. The ruins still stood silent, but now they held a promise. The entity's awakening had not ended, it had only begun, and humanity had survived, learned, and grown. Captain Tan looked up at the sky. We've faced what no human has faced in millennia. And we're ready for whatever comes next. Mira smiled. This is just the beginning. The galaxy, and humanity, are forever changed. And with that, the humans looked toward the stars, carrying the knowledge of an ancient intelligence, the proof of their own courage, and the hope of a future filled with endless possibilities. The entity had awakened, and so had humanity.